implementation process of this project, all the 40 million members of MATAN are going to be enumerated, and all of them will be given this card. In this card, everything about you, everything about your business, everything that you need to know about taxation will be contained in it, including your tax identification number.
That was the Executive Chairman FRS at the Stakeholders Engagement with the Market Traders Association of Nigeria, MATAN, in Lagos State. The event was the launching of the VAT Direct Initiative, and it is with that we welcome you to this episode of Tax Matters as we enter the second half of the year 2023. 6 months are gone already, and what an eventful time it was. Presidential and National Assembly election, governorship and state assemblies election, handing over of the baton of office from one administration to another, and of course, the festivities. Now, business has begun in earnest. Like we always say on this program, every government needs revenue for the smooth running of the economy. And where does this revenue come from? Mainly from taxes. Tax revenue is the lifeblood of every government administration, and so all hands must be on deck. Talking about tax authorities at the federal and state levels, and of course the citizens. We as citizens must support the tax authorities by playing our role, that is, paying our taxes as and when due. In his inauguration speech, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu promised to tackle the issue of multiple taxation, which has been the cry of most taxpayers. In a bid to curb the incidence of multiple taxation, or levies, or charges, or fees, if you like, the Federal Inland Revenue Service and the Joint Tax Board are working assiduously to help the federal government in achieving this. At a stakeholders engagement held from Monday the 19th to Wednesday the 21st of June 2023, the FRS, in collaboration with the Joint Tax Board, partnered with the Market Traders Association of Nigeria, MATAN, to launch the VAT Direct Initiative. This initiative will optimize tax collection and voluntary compliance among market traders and haulage operators in Nigeria. This will also build a transparent and efficient collection and remittance of VAT in the informal sector. The event brought together heads, the Iyalodjas and Babalodjas of the Market Traders Association in all the 36 states of the Federation plus the FCT, the MATAN vendors, members of various trade clusters, representatives from all markets across the country, as well as other relevant stakeholders in the project, including money deposit banks. Heads of various units in the market and relevant stakeholders applauded the FRS for this great initiative and pledged their unflinching support. Mr. Kingsley Chikezie is the National President, Importers Association of Nigeria.
This program is fashioned to move us to the IT level, where you don't need to go to anywhere interfacing any human being to pay your levy or your tax. I want everybody to put hands together and clap for FIRS. For them to have thought this wise to collaborate with MATAN, they want Nigeria to move forward. Put your hands for JTB. And I would like all of us to make sure that this transaction is seamless. This government needs support of every one of us, and we are here to give them that support. We pray that with this project, enough money will be coming to the consolidated revenue of the federal government.
In her speech, the Secretary of the Joint Tax Board, Mrs. Aisha Bomege, spoke about how this initiative will help address the issue of market traders and haulage operators being taxed at multiple levels.
taxes are being collected all over the years, but we are trying to change the way we'll be doing the tax collection. A survey that was conducted some years ago shows that the informal sectors are paying something, but most of the money paid in the informal sector are paid into the wrong hands. So we are saying we are going to change the way of doing the tax collection so that every money collected from every part of the country, from local government, from state government to federal government, is going to the hands of the right authority, that is the government, and will be used for development so that your children and our children could have good school to go to. So partnering with you today in this issue of tax administration, we believe will help us to plug the leakages, because the problem of leakages that we have in Nigeria is bigger than the problem of revenue.
Dr. Lovett Ononoga is the Director of VAT at the FIRS.
When I resumed as the Director of VAT, one of the problems I was confronted with was how to ensure that the FIRS and the federal government were able to actually harness the potential of the VAT in this nation. The concept of VAT Direct initiative was then birthed. In the course of conceptualizing this initiative, I also read up on the single haulage fee and the single interstate road sticker, and I immediately saw an opportunity to be able to leverage on that digital platform, since it will involve the federal and the subnationals. Leveraging on the digital platform already in place would enable us to achieve a win-win situation both for the federal, the states, and the local governments. So FRS has undertaken to manage and oversee the implementation of the VAT Direct initiatives in collaboration with MATAN, who will provide manpower at the local and state levels.
In his speech, the Executive Chairman FIRS gave the raison-d'etre of this initiative and how it will address the issue of multiple taxation in the tax system.
The administration of VAT in the informal sector is characterized mainly by a low level of compliance and a lack of awareness in terms of obligation and liability. Another issue that the government is worried about is the issue of multiplicity of taxes. The FIRS and Joint Tax Board are currently working on various modalities of addressing this challenge, and these partnerships have laid a very good foundation for the government for addressing the issue of multiple taxation and extortion by tax officials, tax agents, touts in our marketplace. We are convinced that the VAT Direct initiative, which is technology-driven, has the potential to enable us deliver on our aims and objectives. It therefore becomes necessary to leverage the MATAN platform to positively change the status quo. We have no doubt that you will bring your experience and knowledge of the sector to bear in mobilizing your team members and forming a partnership capable of generating the needed financial resources to support government effort in providing infrastructure and social amenities for the citizen. As part of the implementation process of this project, all the 40 million members of MATAN are going to be enumerated. In this card, everything about you, everything about your business, everything that you need to know about taxation will be contained in it, including your tax identification number. I want to use this opportunity to request and call of all members to cooperate with MATAN so that this project becomes a reality.
The audience were taken through the modus operandi of this initiative.
As a trader, you are issued with a MATAN identification number on registration, which will be imprinted on the card that will be given to the traders, like an ID card. And all the information of the traders can be there. This system is so automated in that for people that don't have tax identification numbers, it can generate the TIN number. For payment, the agents on the field will just input the MATAN ID. It brings out the information of the traders. When it brings up information of the traders, the amount that's been approved by FIRS for that class of trader, we have the small traders, we have the medium, and of course the large scale. At the point of payment, the amount you have to pay pops up, and you make the payment, and it is recorded against your ledger. Is that seamless?
We also sought more clarification from the drivers of this project.
Statistics show that 80% of Nigeria's economy is made up of informal sector. I mean, when you look at a population of over 200 million, that's a huge number of the business community that is informal. And so far, government has not really been able to attain the potential of that sector with regards to taxation. The Federal Inland Revenue Service is only able to access VAT from the formal sector. So accessing VAT from the informal sector, who constitutes the bulk of the Nigerian economy, has far-reaching implications for the revenue generation in this country. The vision is for the VAT from that sector to even exceed that which we are generating from the formal sector. And as you can imagine, with that additional revenue, this nation, our taxes will just explode, and the government will have enough for the budget, to fund the budget, to provide infrastructure, facilities and amenities.
Looking at the structure of these projects, like you said, is being done by MATAN, Joint Task Board and Federal Inland Revenue Service. So Federal Inland Revenue Service also saw it that the haulage service is vatable in Nigeria. So by onboarding the people that are into haulage, you will make transparent what they carry, and that is also a vatable service in Nigeria. That is how FRS, who is also a member of the Joint Task Board, come to also anchor VAT on the same project, so that from the portal you could see all that has been done all over the 36 states and the FCT.
With the effective deployment of this scheme and with the over 40 million traders across the 774 local governments and the 36 states of the Federation plus the FCT, we are sure to see a rise in tax collection. The service keeps making giant strides to make the tax administration process seamless.
Do you provide goods and services? Then you must answer these important questions. Are you registered for VAT? Do you charge VAT on the goods and services you provide? Do you keep records of all your transactions? Do you file VAT returns? Do you remit VAT collected to government coffers? If your answer to any of these questions is no, then you are breaking the law. The law demands total compliance. Therefore, you must register for VAT. You must charge VAT on goods and services. You must file VAT returns. And you must remit all VAT collected on behalf of government within 21 days to the bank nearest to you. To do otherwise is a crime punishable everywhere in the world. VAT is prescribed by the law. Do the right thing. Collect and pay VAT. This message is from the FIRS. It pays to pay your tax.
You are still on to tax matters. You'll recall that last episode we brought you the first installment of the exclusive interview with the Executive Chairman FIRS, and we did promise to bring you more. Today, we'll be sharing with you more from that exclusive interview. Executive Chairman, sir, welcome once again.
Thank you for having me back.
When you came into office in 2019, you placed emphasis on indirect taxes over and above direct taxes. How well is the service doing in this regard?
Well, very good question, and I will refer you to some of the statistics we revealed at the beginning of the year. By the time I was appointed, value-added tax in the year 2019 fetched Nigeria 1.1 trillion naira, or thereabout, about 1.1, 1.3 trillion. As at the close of business in December 2022, at least we collect almost 3 trillion from that tax type. So the emphasis on indirect taxes is working. Another key indicator that I want to mention is the electronic money transfer levy, or which we used to be called stamp duty. So when we came on board as a team, we decided to focus our attention on that product. And today, by the report I got last year, we did over 140 billion from that tax type, from 0 to 140. And this year, we are very confident we'll do even better. So the second thing I want to draw your attention to is to remind you what we did yesterday too. What we call the initiative, the VAT Direct Initiative. So what we want to do, the intention is to start administering VAT, create awareness on the importance of this VAT, how it is going to be paid. You saw the kiosk displayed yesterday. Many will be in some marketplaces, but minimum of 774 will be constructed. And the markets in some local government that needs more than that will get more of the kiosk. So from that kiosk, you can go there, you see the agents of matter, you see FIRS agents too, who will educate you on how to pay, what is VAT in the first place, how to pay it. If you already are qualified to pay it, if you are not qualified, we'll let you know, go and continue to your business until you grow to a certain level before you come to start paying. Because even at the marketplace, there will be huge exemption. It's not everybody that will be applicable. If you wear your business and you are not doing up to 25 million, there's no need troubling you. If we look at your business type and it's not the type that you should pay VAT, and what you are trading or dealing in a good or service that is exempt, certainly you work free. So these are the platforms we are going to provide in the marketplaces. So when we educate them, they will know how to go about doing their businesses going forward, and they will make sure that when they sell certain products that are VATable, they will calculate VAT and add to the price of the goods, so that seamlessly they don't need to travel or move a kilometer. Tax office is brought very close to their doorstep. As you move out of a shop, you go to the kiosk, you make your payment. They give you assessment, you make your payment. If it's self-assessment form that you don't know how to fill, somebody is there to help you fill it. If it's online product that you don't know how to use, somebody is in the kiosk to help you. We have POS for those that want to do transfer. We don't even want your money. Everything should be done electronically. So the emphasis has been on indirect taxes, and I can assure you we are likely to double the figure by the grace of God in the year 2024.
Now, sir, on Monday, the 6th of February 2023, the FIRS signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service on joint tax audit, and also signed a Memorandum of Understanding with His Majesty Revenue and Customs recently. We would like to know, what is this collaborations really all about?
Okay, let's start with Lagos State one. Lagos economy is one of the leading economy in Africa, and the economic activities in Lagos State activities are so huge, the opportunities are there, but because of the issues we have centered around fragmented tax system and probably multiplicity of taxes and the smart people living in Lagos State, FIRS may be in a position to collect certain taxes, but because FIRS does not have that legal power to do so, we get into certain record, we see tax opportunity, but we are not able to harness it. Lagos State government, through their internal revenue, could be in a taxpayer's office. They also come across an intelligence or data that has to do with a taxpayer who is not required to make tax returns to Lagos State government. But because Lagos State has not also got the statutory power to ask for this tax due from this taxpayer, they are also handicapped. So it becomes so easy for the taxpayers, the smart ones in Lagos, to dodge our bullet or to meander their way out of paying taxes that are actually due. So having realized that, we sat as FRS or a federal government institution with internal revenue as a revenue authority of the state to say, what do we do together to make sure that we block this glaring leakage in the tax system, particularly in this economy? We now sat as brothers, two brothers, and we came out to a conclusion that there will be need for us to come up with a memorandum of understanding which will allow us to carry out joint operations in Lagos State. And with the signing of that memorandum of understanding, if FRS is in any taxpayer's office, whether it's pay as you earn, whether it's withholding tax from individual, whether it is capital gains tax on disposal by individual, which ordinarily should not come to us, we will be in a position to do the report on behalf of Lagos State government. So also, if Lagos State is in a taxpayer office or has a record or an intelligence about a taxpayer, whether it is about value-added tax which should go to federal government, or it is company income tax which should come to federal government, or an education tax which should be collected by FRS, they should also be able to draw our attention to the fact that you have an opportunity here, and this is what I saw. It's now left for you to follow up on the recovery of the taxes that you don't know anything about. The second step is we have now agreed that if Lagos State is going for any audit, you should call us, we'll be there. If Federal Inland Revenue is going for any audit, we'll call them to join us. So that as we are looking at the books, we are doing it together. So the smart taxpayer, the smart consultant, the smart legal practitioner will now be left without any option other than to take assessment from the two of us simultaneously. The third step, and which is critical, which will now move me to the international agreement we sign, is automatic exchange of information. So let's assume there is an intelligence we get from international community. You know, we are the only one, being the agency of federal government, who has right to partner or to enter into an agreement outside the shore of Nigeria. The moment we see Mr. A, who lives in Lagos, with huge economic activities, which Lagos State is not aware of, we send that information to Lagos State government. And the same thing applied to Lagos State. Should they get any intelligence, we share with ourselves. So this is the process that we put in place, and these are the things we want to do together. Then when you look at the agreement we signed with His Majesty's Revenue and Custom in the UK, we have done it with the hope of achieving two things. There are several things we are doing in Nigeria that we may think we are copying people. No, we are setting pace for others to even follow. So they've identified that, particularly with the Tax Pro Max team and our beautiful transfer pricing unit of the International Tax Department, the whole world sees these two initiatives as something that is worth replicating in their respective countries. So they come in mass to study our processes on these two key products. And we also have certain things in their own country that we want, particularly the issue of capacity building. They have experience in tax administration better than all of us. They have advanced technology. So we also go to them to get our staff to have the best training that is required for them to improve on our process too. Then there's issue of automatic exchange of information. There are so many Nigerians doing business in the United Kingdom. There are several of them that goes and come back in the name of holidaying, but they end up doing a lot of business with the UK counterpart. As soon as such business happens, we get intelligence. And the same way, if anything happens between Nigeria with a UK visitor to Nigeria, we also send the business intelligence to UK government.
Obviously, there is no more hiding place for tax dodgers. The tax man is on the lookout. So be warned. More from this seminal interview with the Executive Chairman FRS will come to you in a subsequent episode of Tax Matters. Watch out for it. Thank you for watching. See you next week.
Classico, I tell you, my 3 points is clear.
Yes.
They go watch match.